back to my YouTube channel. My name is Khalif, also known as Kay. Welcome to my channel. And remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you are interested in any of the topics that I talk about, okay? Tonight I want to talk about a topic that has sort of just been on my mind, and I've been like wanting to really record this. It's in regards to like being a trans person and some of the things that you may go through, right? Some of the things that you may go through. And specifically, lately, I don't know why this has been happening to me, but I've been getting in a way of, hold on, make sure we're recording. Hold on, yeah. Challenged in a way of, lately I've been getting clocked. Lately I've been getting clocked in public and also with people who I know, like in my personal life, who are like associates or friends. I've been around a few people who make it a point to tell me that they know when someone is trans, or they try to come to me and tell me how they know how to clock someone. And it's just like the weirdest thing. I'm going to share just two quick stories as to what happened to me. So, about 2.5 weeks ago, because it's been raining like crazy here. It's been raining like crazy here in LA. 2 weeks ago, I parked my car because I do not have street. I'm sorry, I don't have like a parking spot, so I rely on street parking like pretty much everyone else here. And I parked my car. I'm walking to my car, and this random guy stops in this car, and catcalling happens. It's something that I don't like. I know a lot of the girls like live for catcalling. Me, I don't like catcalling. I mean, I don't ever really feel like it really makes me feel comfortable or safe. But, I do understand that, like, people are attracted to me sometimes when I'm out and about in public. Um, I feel like I'm an attractive looking woman. I got a nice little body on me and stuff like that. So it comes with the territory. But is this something that I like? No, I don't like it, because it's like men are just a lot sometimes, and you just never know like where things could go. And I try not to walk around in fear. I don't walk around in fear. But and it can also be annoying because whenever I'm out and about and I'm focused, like I notice that I get catcalled or like hit on when I'm like super focused and I'm not even like looking for that type of attention. I notice that that's when men try to talk to me, right? And I'm not saying that, not to shoot your shot. I think on the flip side of that, if it's done in a polite, respectful way, not in a disrespectful way, shoot your shot, right? And then let me figure out if I want to entertain you or not and disclose to you or not, due to my safety and my agency and how I navigate the world. You know what I mean? But long story short, that's a rant. I was walking to my car. This guy pulls over, rolls down his window, and he stares at me. And I'm like, oh, here we go. He stares at me. And when he rolled down the window, I could smell like weed coming out the car. Nothing wrong with my marijuana smokers or anything like that. It's, but, no shade. I was like, he rolls down his window and he's like, hey. And I'm like, hi. And I'm like opening my door, and he's acting so weird. Like, he's over here, can I talk? Like, he's like talking hella low and just being a weirdo because he's trying to talk to me. So I literally look at him and I'm just kind of assertive. And he was like, hey. And I'm like, what's up? Because the look on my face, I just was like, I really don't have the time. I'm not going to hold you. I totally had like resting, face, because I just was like, I don't have the energy. Like, oh my God, leave me the fuck alone. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, have y'all ever had one of those days, ladies, where you just, and hell, you cis or trans, whatever you are, you have one of those days where you were not in the mood. And I wasn't in the mood this particular day. It was raining. I had stuff on my mind. I'm over here, like, it's a lot. So, working and just, it's a lot. So sometimes and it's annoying because when I'm out in public or when I'm handling stuff, I'm genuinely focused and people, yeah. Anyways, so I think he was kind of trying to fill me out, right? So I was like, what's up? And he starts talking to me or whatever, and then he's just like, can I talk to you? And I was like, talk to me for what? I was like, talk to me for what? And he was like, I'm trying to like talk to you and get to know you. And I'm like, okay, for what? What are you trying to talk to me to get to know me for? Because I really didn't want to talk to him, to be honest with you, but I just was kind of like, I want you to leave me alone, but I don't want to be too rude because that's how the girls be getting like messed up out here, cis or trans. If you a black girl, it's rough for the black girls. These men. That's another conversation for another day. But some of the black men, no shade. Not saying all black men, but I'm saying if you're a black girl, sometimes you gotta navigate that a certain way. You can't just flat out say no. But for some reason, I didn't really have any fear. You know what I mean? And I didn't like flat out say no or like tell him to leave me alone. But I was just like, "What's up?" And my energy was very much so like, "What do you want?" Like, I don't have time. Like, you tell me what's up. Like, what do you want? Like, you know what I mean? So he was like, can I get your number? And I gave him my number or whatever. And then he was like, what's your name? Told him my name or whatever. He told me his name. And then I asked him his zodiac sign just to be silly. I was like, what's your sign? And he said a Cancer. And I was like, well, I'm an Aquarius, so we're not going to get along because Cancers annoy the fuck out of me. Well, I don't, it's not that I dislike Cancers. Some Cancers I get along with, but Cancers and Aquariuses, it's just like a very hit or miss dynamic. Sometimes we cool, most of the times we not. And like Cancer guys, my dad was a Cancer. Another story for another day. So yeah, that's probably something I need to go work out on. I need to go work that out, child. Work on that, not work out on. Work on that and figure that out. But basically, gave him my number. He's like blowing up my phone, like he drives off, and then he's like blowing up my phone like crazy. So I ignore a few of his calls because I'm over here like I'm busy. So he called me like 4 times on FaceTime, and then I answered it. And, we were just talking and stuff because I really was kind of like, okay, maybe he might be a decent person. I don't know. And then the first thing he says when I actually pick up the phone is he says, are you trans? And now, for me, this is what I want to talk about today, right? Because being a trans person, a trans woman especially, you will get clocked sometimes. I don't care how passable you are. I don't care how feminine you are, or how the older term is fishy. That's the old school term. Don't get upset, cis woman. That's the old school term that the girls use in the community. I'm using it in the context of that, right? I don't care how much you blend, right? There is always going to be someone who clocks you, right? So that's something that I do understand, but it also kind of annoys me because the way he did it, he was just like, "Are you trans?" And I just was kind of like, well, why? Because I wanted to just like gauge like where he was coming from. So I was just like, why would you ask that? And he was just like, I'm just asking you a question. Are you trans? And he just kept pressing me about me being trans. And I was like, well, would it matter if I was or if I wasn't? And he was all like, no, all I'm asking you is if you trans, because I think you trans. So that was like the first like annoying ass thing for me, honestly. And he just kept pressing me. And I was pressing him back, and I was just like, okay, but why are you just like flat out that's the first thing you asked me is if I'm trans. You barely know my fucking name. You just got my number. Are you trying to be cute with me? You trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't like when people try me like that. That is some annoying shit. But, and excuse my language, YouTube, but it is what it is. I need to stop cussing on here. But, yeah, so that can get a little annoying, but honestly, I've accepted the fact that is something that I just will always have to deal with. Why? Because I'm a dark-skinned 5'10" woman. My voice and so let me get back to the conversation. Hold on, let me get back to that because he tries to use he used my voice or whatever. So I was like, well, why would you ask that? And he was like, well, just answer the question. You either are or you're not or whatever. So he kind of like pressured me to answer the question. So I was just like, I am trans, but let me let you know that that's like really inappropriate for you to just like do that. You get what I'm saying? Like, you are just a little bit much for me and my taste. And I checked him on that. And I was all like, I am a trans woman, but what if I wasn't a trans woman? There are plenty of cis women who look like me, who talk like me, who are the same height as me, who have a deeper voice than I do. So I was just, that's how I hit him with that. And I was just like, okay, well, why did you even ask that? Like, why was that the first thing? And he was like, well, because of your voice. And I was like, okay, all right. Okay. So And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So that's the first story. He was like, because of your voice. So let me wrap up that particular story. So basically, I educated him on how that is rude and how he should not assume, even if somebody does have a deep voice, you should not assume if someone is trans or cis, right? Like you can't really police someone's gender like that. And he was all like, "Well, I only know because I'm into that. I'm into the girls." So, and that's what he told me. He was like, "I'm into the girls, you know," and yeah, and then he just the conversation got very inappropriate after that, and it turned into this thing of him trying to force me to come see him to have sex, you know. So then, and that's honestly like the most annoying. I oh, it is goddamn that's so annoying. Like that's one of the most annoying things about being like a trans woman. And I'm not saying that we can't do our thing or have fun, but you know, it would be nice to meet a person who takes you seriously. And you know, and in one way, I know that trans women we deal with that, right, when it comes to dating and all that. But all women deal with that as well, right? But there are times where I feel like trans women specifically, we are just so limited, especially black girls. Like people put us in such a box about what we can do and who we are. And as I say that, I'm not knocking the girls who do their thing or whatever. I'm a very sex positive person, but it's just so annoying that that's like the first thing that is assumed when people meet me. You know, it doesn't matter how I dress. I know people are gonna be like, oh, because you know I love to wear like tight jeans and stuff like that, and show off my body. You know what I mean? But in a way of class, not in a way of like everything just out. You know what I mean? But I like to dress cute and wear things that accentuate my body, but in a classy way, right? I cover up and things like that. But there are times where I have a little skin showing, but it's my body, you know. But rather I wear what I wear or not, it's annoying that I'm put into like that box is just always there, and people don't see us as more than just being a sex object or a sex kitten. It's annoying, you know. For me, it's annoying because like I'm someone who likes to use my brain and I like to talk and I like to think, and I just feel like I'm that's something that I just deal with, and I'm having to really accept as I just turned 30, y'all. I'm having to really just accept that that is what comes with it, and that's just you know, people a lot of people see us only in a sexual light, you know, which isn't like 100% bad thing, but it would just be nice to like meet someone who just saw me as a person. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's wrong for me to say that. Second story. That's the first story. So he said it was my voice. Second story. I have a friend who this particular friend um this particular friend, I'm not gonna like get into who they are because they might see this video, and I love them, right? And I don't think that this was their intention. But I was with a friend of mine, and I was at this friend's house a few months ago, and we were talking about this other person who I was talking to, and I met this person on this online dating app, right? And this friend was just kind of like, oh, you know, well, how is it for you? And does he know? So this particular friend of mine, they might watch this video, and I'm not being messy by using you as an example, friend, but it was a mess. So this particular friend of mine was just like, well, does he know? Does he know? Does he know? And I was trying to explain to my friend that me and this person just started talking. I was like, we literally just started talking, so I would definitely disclose when I feel comfortable. But I was like, you know, they don't know as of yet, but you know, we've only been talking for a week or so, and we haven't even met in person or nothing like that. And I don't really think it's that serious, but I will disclose when the time is right. So that friend, I guess, had an issue with that, and the friend started asking me all these questions like, oh, you know, well, are you two gonna go out? Have y'all all talked on the phone? And I was like, yeah, we talked on the phone a few times, and I was just like, you know, we were supposed to have a date, but that didn't work out, or whatever. Well, actually, no, I think this was I think this was like a day before or a few days before the date. No. This was a day of the date. So me and this guy, we were supposed to go on a date the day of me going to my friend's house, right? And then he flaked on the date because I'm someone where when I go on a date, I like to confirm in advance. Um, I don't know why I'm that way, but anytime I plan something with people, I like to confirm in advance if we are still on. And if people don't confirm in advance, I get annoyed and I might cancel or they might cancel or I just probably won't go. That's just how I am with people. If they ask me out, it could be friend, whoever you are. If you're like, let's meet somewhere, I'm someone who I like to confirm like a few hours before, just say, hey, we still on, or a day before. That's just me. That's how I operate. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people don't like it, some people love it. So, long story short, the friend kept pressing me about me coming out to the guy. And I was like, well, I come out when I'm ready to come out, and that's none of your goddamn business. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you keep pressing me about me telling this person about my trans identity? You stay out of my business. I'm going to talk to this person. And then they were like, well, I'm pretty sure they know. And I was like, excuse me? And they were like, well, it's your voice. Like, I know a trans voice when I hear a trans voice. So that was like the second time. And that happened before the incident. The first story I told y'all, this happened like a month before that. So this particular friend was just like, this friend was going on like a little bit of a tirade about how they know a trans woman's voice and how they could clock a trans woman, so a cis man can't clock a trans woman. You know what I mean? And this friend is non-binary, by the way. And this is friend, I'm not being messy as I share this story for my content, but it was something that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah. So basically, the friend was just kind of like, what did they say? Damn. Oh, they were just like, well, I know a trans woman when I see when I'm around a lot of the girls, so I don't care. And the friend was like, I don't care how pretty you are. When it comes to that voice, girl, I know your voice. And I was like, okay, so what are you trying to say about my voice? You trying to say I sound like a man? What you trying to say? And they were like, no, you just sound like a trans woman. And trans women sound different from cis women. And I was like, that's not true, though. There are plenty of cis women who talk and sound just like me, like literally. And and they were like, oh no, that's not true. And they were just saying how they know that there's a difference. And when this friend said that, I'm not sure if this was their intention or not. And this video is not me like trying to bash this friend or make them look bad, because I love this person dearly. Love them down. But it was an irritating moment for me, because I was just like, damn, like, you're someone who's in community and you also think like this. So it's so annoying, like, being a trans girl, because this was a non-binary person. So I had to remember, like, okay, yeah. So this person was just like, well, I know the girls and I'm around the girls, so I know a trans voice when I hear a trans voice. Absolutely annoying as fuck. And for me, with both of those stories, my point is that when it comes to gender and being a trans woman, if you look the part, if you don't, but especially if you look the part, this sounds so wrong coming out that way. I'm not trying to be insensitive to my girls who are not passable. And see, this is a difficult part about having this conversation, or not. What I'm trying to say is that whether you're passable or not, or if you blend in or not, or if you look as cis as possible, right? There's always going to be someone who moves the goalposts on your gender. There are people who say things about your hands or your ankles, and they know it's not true, but they just can't take that you look so well and you carry yourself so well as a trans woman, you know what I mean, or a trans man if you're a trans man. There are people who are always looking for things with trans people, and I think that in today's age, we live in an age of hyper visibility, where there are so many of us out. So many of us are out. A lot of us are out here doing our thing. All of us are outspoken now. Everyone is talking. Everyone is being free, which is great. But also with that, cis people in particular, and also people who are in community, are having these conversations, right? And I just don't think that we realize how that could be a little bit problematic, you know what I'm saying? So I share this to say, as a trans woman, especially for my trans girls, be comfortable with who you are. You're going to have to accept all of you, pre-surgery or not. There's always going to be someone who tells you that your voice is clocky. There's always going to be someone who tells you that you look like this day. There are people who are also working through things as they see you. You get what I mean? Rather it be a cis person or not. Rather it be a man who's attracted to you or not. Or a person who is in community or not, whatever. There are people who are not used to probably being around the girls like that. You know what I mean? So, it's something where when it comes to my voice in particular, I accept my voice. My voice fluctuates. And I just want to stress to you, I know that a lot of trans women really stress out about their voices and how can I make my voice sound as passable? How can I make my voice sound this way, right? Just continue to be yourself, you could get vocal surgery and things of that nature. For me, this is my natural voice. This is how I talk. My voice fluctuates. I have high tones, I have low tones, as any other person's voice fluctuates, right? It's so goddamn annoying when cis people and people in community will try to play with me like that or just play with trans women in general like that. It's annoying as fuck. And sorry for my language. I hate to cuss. I apologize. But it's really annoying. It's so annoying. And I just there are just times where people take it upon themselves to try to remind you of the lack of progress that they have made. Um but also too, I'm mindful of that people are going to just do what they're going to do, and I'm so comfortable with who I am. Do you get what I'm saying? High voice, low pitch voice. Look, I'm and let me talk about this too, because I was talking about this with my friend yesterday. When it comes to femininity, there are some women who don't fit that, and I think that when people look at trans women in particular, they're chasing this idea of the ultra feminine woman, and if you're not that, you're not woman enough, and I can still tell. People always try to dangle that over you, right? When it comes to femininity, I have accepted that my femininity is mine. I am a very feminine person. I have a very strong feminine energy and aura about me. I don't need a man or a friend or anyone in community to validate my femininity or my womanhood or who I am as a trans woman. I don't need someone to validate that for me. And it's annoying when people take it upon themselves to try to tell you how you should be or how they know who you are, as if we're not comfortable with who we are. And then people sit up and they wonder why trans people are over their bullshit. Frankly, like, people sit up and they wonder why trans people are annoyed. They wonder why trans people don't want to have conversations with them. They wonder why people don't want to be educators, because people are cute like that. And as I say that, there might be cis people who watch this video, and the rebuttal might be, well, I'm not educated. Last night I was talking to somebody and he was like, well, I'm not educated, because he made a joke, right? I told him how he made a horrible joke with me. And I told him, I was like, I appreciate how transparent you are. And he was like, I appreciate how trans you are. And I was like, motherfucker, come on. What is wrong with you? That was a terrible joke. And not only that, do you talk to other women, when you talk to a cis woman, do you joke about her identity like that? And he was like, yeah, I do. I just joke. And I was like, but see, that's just annoying and it's distasteful, like, relax. Like, because he was like, you're very trans. And it was absolutely annoying. And then people wonder why we don't want to be around them, because they act like that, rather it be a guy who you're talking to, or a friend, or whoever it may be. Like the person I was talking to, we were just on the phone. It was nothing like that. We were just on the phone, and he was making a joke about my transness after I gave him a compliment. I gave him a compliment, and I said, I appreciate your transparency and how honest you are, because he was telling me some things, And then he was like, well, I appreciate how trans you are. And I was like, I'm not going to laugh at that motherfucker. That's stupid. You're dumb. What the hell? And I told him that. So, excuse my language. But I did tell him that. And then he apologized. And I was like, I don't understand why. I get that people joke. I understand humor, right? But cis people, I need you all to just stop using this lame excuse of, I'm not educated enough. You are educated, and what some cis people do, and also other people who are not trans, who are within the LGBTQ community, but then they think that just because they're LGBTQ, they can still be funny about clocking one of the girls or telling them that they know their tea when they already knew their tea all along. It's just the dumbest shit ever. But it's not your lack of knowledge and education. It's you coming to a trans person, trying to barter or negotiate you joking about them, knowing that that's something that could potentially rub them the wrong way. I don't speak for all the trans girls. That's not my cross to bear. I'm not one of these girls who say that. That's not me. It's not my thing, right? But for me, it's annoying. You might meet a trans girl who's like, yeah, I like that. Go ahead and call me that. Call me this. Joke about me. There are some trans girls who are that way. That's them. But for me, that's something that I don't gel with that. That's not me. You know what I mean? So when you meet a trans person, don't pick them apart. Don't be a fucking weirdo. And a lot of cis people need to just be better at that. If you have never met a trans person, that's cool. A lot of us are not around like that. We're kind of like unicorns, right? Even to this day, even with all the visibility that you see, you don't run into a trans person every single day, to your knowledge, right? It's kind of rare that you run into a trans person. Like, that's just still a rare thing, in my opinion, you know? But if you do, just be mindful and aware of how you operate, and don't come at someone basically telling them that you know that they are that way. That is offensive. It is transphobic. And I don't care if you're trying to joke about it or not. That is some lightweight transphobia. So don't be upset when someone calls you out. That's all I gotta say. So that was something that was on my mind. A little bit of the trans talk conversation. By the way, to the friend who may watch this video, I love you. I'm not being shady with you. It was something that rubbed me the wrong way. But, you know, this is not me being messy. I'm using that as an example of what trans people deal with and how people could just be better, you know? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like it. I don't want this to be too long. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Let me know your thoughts on what I talked about, right? When it comes to trans, if you're a trans person and you deal with being clocked sometimes, or people making it a point to tell you how they know, or they're trying to argue with you about your identity. I've been dealing with that lately, and I don't know why I'm being tested like that, but it's been happening to me lately. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop down in the comment box and let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. That's the only way for this channel to get anywhere. If you relate to me and if you like me, spread the word. Like the content. Drop a comment. Leave a heart. Do something. I appreciate you for watching. I thank you for checking me out. This was so fun. And I will see y'all next time.